Ladies and gentlemen, what you are looking at is a Mormon cricket, and they devour crops just like locusts. The only difference is they don't have wings like a locust. Well, they are swarming up in the state of Oregon, and they are having problems with swarms of grasshoppers too. This is all at the same time. Now, I learned about this Mormon cricket back when I was in school, and they usually go to mountaintops, and then they will come down and just devour everything. They can take out acres and acres of crops within a short period of time, few hours. And they have been having a problem with this cricket since the 1800s across North America. They would actually take crops out all across the West. And I know at one point in time, they were even trying to figure out a way to eradicate them, but they never could. As you can see, it still lives. All right. Biblical insect swarms spur Oregon push to fight pests. Driving down a windy canyon road, and this is in northern Oregon, they said that they were on the lookout for Mormon crickets, the giant insects that can ravish crops. And there was one, and they spotted many. The insects, which grow 2 inches long, and they were just crawling across the asphalt in big numbers. Mormon crickets are not new to Oregon, native to Western North America. Their name dates back to the 1800s when they would ruin fields of Mormon settler crops. Mm-mm-mm. And when do they come out? During droughts and warm temperatures. And what's going on the West Coast? A mega drought. So here they are. Boy, that thing got a pretty hard shell on it, don't it? So the Oregon legislature, they had allotted $5 million to try to assess the problem and set up a Mormon cricket and grasshopper suppression program because they get hit with swarms of grasshoppers too. An additional $1.2 million for the program was approved earlier this month. It's large part effort by the state and federal authorities in the US West to deal with the explosion of grasshoppers and Mormon crickets that has hit Montana to Nevada. But some environmental groups oppose the programs. We rely on the aerial spraying of pesticides across large swaths of land. Marley, an Oregon University extension agent and a resident of a small Colombian river town of Arlington, are involved in the Mormon cricket outreach and survey efforts in the area. In 2017, Arlington saw its largest Mormon cricket outbreak since the 1940s. The roads were greasy with squished entrails of huge insects, which damaged nearby wheat fields. Mm-mm-mm. Rancher Sky Krebs said the outbreak has been truly biblical. On the highways, once you get them killed, then the rest of them come. So it's like you kill some, and then another swarm is right behind the ones you killed. Mm-mm-mm. And said that the Mormon crickets are also cannibalistic and will feast on each other. They'll feast on the dead and alive. Mm-mm-mm. The insects, which are not true crickets, yeah, you can look at them and tell, there are differences on them, where you would know that's not an ordinary cricket if you saw one. They're flightless, but they can travel at least a quarter of a mile per day, according to Marley. Mm-mm-mm. And they said they had a bad outbreak that they had to fight back in 2017. I got the lawnmower out and I started mowing them and killing them. It took a straight hoe and I'd stab them. Mm-mm-mm. Well, if they came back again, I don't think that did anything. Plus, I think you would need more. If you got swarms of them, you're going to need more than some lawnmower. No defense, but another infestation last year had local officials scrambling, Marley said. We had all those high value crops and irrigation circles, he explained. We just had to do what we could to keep them from getting to that. In 2021, Oregon agricultural officials estimate $10 million of acreage in 18 counties were damaged by grasshoppers and Mormon crickets. Under the new Oregon initiative, private landowners like farmers and ranchers can request the Oregon Department of Agriculture survey their land. If ODA finds more than 3 Mormon crickets or 8 grasshoppers per square yard, it will recommend chemical treatment. In some near areas around Arlington, surveyed in May, soon after they hatch. And on this one property, they found approximately 200 Mormon crickets per square yard. Wow, that's a lot, depending on what size your property is. State officials recommend aerial application. So they're talking about an insecticide that they can go up, I guess, in planes and spray down on the land to try to kill them. Mm-mm-mm. And if landowners happen to lose their crops, they can be reimbursed up to 75% of the cost. Diana Fillmore, a rancher participating in the new cost sharing initiative, says the ground is just crawling with grasshoppers on her property. ODA recommended that she treat her 988-acre ranch as the program protocol calls for applying insecticide to only half of the proposed area. Okay, so that would mean nearly 500 acres of her land will actually be sprayed. So they're not spraying the whole thing, just part of it. Fillmore decided to act and remembering last year's damage. It was horrible, Fillmore said. The grasshoppers just totally wiped out some of our fields. She was forced to spend $45,000 on hay she normally wouldn't have to buy. Mm-mm-mm. So Tom Adams, he surveyed the land for grasshoppers in mid-June and received 122 survey requests. And out of 31 treatment recommendation for roughly 40,000 acres or 16,187 hectares. Well, look like Oregon got a problem. Mm-mm-mm. You know, back when I was in school, they showed footage. It was black and white footage back then. And they showed these Mormon crickets and how they devoured a field. I think it was like several acres, and they ate the whole thing in, I think, like about 2, 3 hours. And of course, that's it for the farmers. They are done for the year if these things wipe out their crops. So the US government grasshopper suppression program dates back to the 1930s, and the USDA Animal and Plant Health Inspection Services has sprayed millions of acres of pesticides to control outbreaks since the 1980s. Uh-huh. They said since the program started, they have sprayed 807,000 acres. Mm-mm-mm. And that was in 2021. So far this year, it has received requests for treatment in Oregon, Idaho, Montana, Utah, Nevada, and Arizona. Wow, they're in that many states? Mm-mm-mm. To me, all right, so you spray down this insecticide, all right? What does that do to the human health? Seriously, I would think that is really posing a danger to a person's health. That seems like an awful lot of insecticide y'all got to use on these things. So, ladies and gentlemen, they said it is biblical with the grasshoppers and Mormon crickets. And they are devouring everything they see in sight. But, y'all, please tell me what you think about this story. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.